All right, so we're in a different spot. This is just the warehouse. Talk to you guys a little bit about some things that I've learned in my 20s that I think will help everybody out if you're younger or if you're older, right? Everyone has different experiences and different time frames around their experiences. So some of these you might know, some of these you might change. Also, if you're a little bit on the older side, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, however old you are, and you have some other life advice or one lesson that you learned, be sure to share it down in the comments. And let's go ahead and get into number one, which for me, and something I found so valuable with time and maybe haven't always taken advantage of, is everything in life is 100% negotiable, right? Everything that you do in your life is negotiable. For example, when somebody is selling something at a certain price, it is very often that you are able to get that thing for a lesser amount, especially if you're paying in cash. That's more, again, car dealerships, houses, right? Houses are always negotiable. Cars are always negotiable. Everything. If you're buying a car for sticker price, you're doing it 100% wrong. If you're paying for the house on specifically what that amount that they're asking for is, you're doing it wrong. The same thing I even learned, especially as I've built my professional career, time off, right? For me, I was able to negotiate allowing myself to get a little bit more time off. I also negotiated getting a little bit more pay than what they were willing to set the max pay, right? Between, you know, I think this job was something between like 50,000 and 70,000, something like that was like the position on Indeed. But being able to show like different experiences and different certificates and doing different things, right? Whatever it is though, being able to show that you are able to exceed the expectation of the job with the same idea that you're also going to get paid more for that position, right? Working with people, creating deals, most things are negotiable. So ideally you should come into whatever job you want with an idea of, okay, within reason, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, I want this job and I want this pay because this, and this. Again, negotiation isn't just saying, I want this for this price because I don't want to pay the price that you've asked for, right? That's not really negotiation. It's being able to show, hey, well, this car is, you know, $5,000 less expensive and it also has like these features, so can we meet in the middle here? Again, negotiation is very much about being able to push for what you want with some sort of value for them, right? Most negotiation should be a deal, right? Between you helping them out, them helping you out, and it should be kind of a partnership of a little bit of push and pull until you can find something that you guys agree on. The next thing is with relationships, friendships, or romantic relationships, is that not everything is going to be perfect all the time, right? Not everything is going to be a perfect match. However, I think one important side of that is that when you are working on a relationship and you are doing these things, you should not settle, right? You should not settle for some of your main values. So for example, some of my main values are, I need to be able to communicate well with somebody, right? I want to be able to talk to somebody. I want to enjoy listening to what they have to say. I want to enjoy who that person is, like inside and out, or at least on the inside, right? Specifically, looks for me are important. Some people say, oh, that's shallow, looks go away, blah, blah, blah. If I'm not attracted to you, and you don't look good to me on a regular basis, that's hard, right? If you're constantly going with your partner, whether you guys have great conversations or not great conversations, imagine somebody that you think is beautiful or handsome that also meets some of those other values that you have, right? So I think there should be some values, there should be some give, but you should not completely settle. If you are not super attracted to somebody, if you don't feel like you can have a good conversation with them, if you feel like, I don't know, maybe they're abusive or anything else, don't settle for somebody that you're like, well, we have good conversation and we do this, but they're an alcoholic or they're abusive or they're mean to animals or whatever it is. Don't stand for that, right? Don't stand for something that you do not like. But also understand, on the same note, there should be small things that constantly need to get worked on, right? For example, the way that maybe you like to say goodnight is with a phone call, or is talking in bed for a little bit, right? And maybe you don't necessarily feel like you're getting those things. Those are things that maybe you don't have to break up over, or shouldn't break up over, but rather be able to communicate and work with, right? And again, everything is relative. Every situation is different and hard, but just know, I think that's something that my sister, who's in fact a little bit older than me, kind of struggles with, right? She kind of isn't always under the same understanding that somebody should be perfect and there should be no problems, and if there is problems, that person's not for you. That's not necessarily the case. If there's big problems, then obviously those need to be thought about, and if there's not big problems, then maybe we try and work on it. But I think that's something that you have to figure out inside of yourself, is what is a non-negotiable, meaning this is a fine line, this is a hard boundary. If you are abusive, I'm not going to be with you. If you're mean to animals, I'm not going to be with you. If you disrespect me, I'm not going to be with you. If you're unfaithful, I'm not going to be with you, right? And then there's other things where it's like, yo, you never pick up the dishes. Like, those aren't necessarily things that we have to break up over, but are something that constantly needs to be worked on, right? Maybe another one is I want a partner who's physically fit, who takes care of their body, who exercises. That's a great indication of somebody who is motivated and focused on their things, right? You don't see a lot of super successful, really out of shape people necessarily, right? And sure, there's pros and cons, right? We look at every linebacker who's 350 pounds, or I mean every lineman who's 350 pounds, but ideally being in shape is at least exercising, right? Working towards something. So you know, being in shape, taking care of their body, eating the right food, like those are all important to me, right? Maybe some of those things don't matter to you at all. The next thing I have is setting goals. Setting goals is so important towards your success, and that is with everything in life. If you are setting specific goals and specific standards for yourself, that's how you get anywhere, right? When you drive your car, how often do you drive your car to a specific location, and how often do you get to that location? When you leave your house in the morning headed to your job, how often do you take the exact same route every single day, right? Probably pretty often, because that's the way that you get to work. You get to work through that way. Now, can you take another way? Probably. And do you maybe occasionally? Sure. But how often do you take the fastest, most effective route to your job every day, right? Pretty often. How often do you drive the exact same way to the grocery store? Now, why is that you do the same thing over and over and over again and get the same outcome? Because you've figured out, right? When you move here, or when you move to a new spot, or you do a new thing, you check out a new spot, is you figure out how to get to that spot, right? I got a new doctor, I got a new dentist. How do I get there? You might MapQuest it, whatever. The point is, the goal is to get to that spot. And you use certain roads that are going to take you there, right? And that's with everything in life. When you set a goal, you should have a clear outline on how you're going to get to that goal. Not just, I want to go to the movies, right? Because when you say you want to go to the movies, what movie theater, right? How long do you need to leave before? There's preparation to get there. If you know you have a movie at 9 o'clock, you know the movie theater is 30 minutes away, you know it takes you 30 minutes to get ready, you know that you have to eat dinner beforehand, or you know that you're going to eat there, or you know you're going to eat after the movie, right? These are all things prepped, right? So the movie theaters, the movie starts at 9. It takes us 30 minutes to get there. That means we have to leave the house by no later than 8:30, right? But then we have to account for a little bit of traffic or any other confusion or not being sure. So let's give another 5 minutes, right? Just so that we're there a few minutes early, maybe say 10 minutes early. So now we know we were supposed to leave at 8:30. Now we're going to leave at 8:20. We know we need to eat dinner before that, right? So it takes us 30 minutes to make dinner, plus 30 minutes to eat dinner. That means by 7:20, we need to have dinner, right? We know that if we need to shower, do all these things, right? So there's specific objectives to be able to accomplish the most basic things. And I think when people think about their actual goals or what they want to do, I want to make $100,000 a year. So you write that on your list. And then what happens, right? How often? You probably don't reach that goal. But if you know I make $70,000 right now, or I make 50,000 right now. I need to make another 50,000 a year. Well, okay, so if I did another job, I got a part-time job, or I got another full-time job at night, whatever it is, I can make this much money, or I got another part-time job and I work more on the weekends. Well, now I'm at, say, I don't know, maybe you work 30 hours a week on your other job that pays the exact same, and now you're at like $75,000. And then maybe out of that amount of money, you invest 20% of that into some other stock or some CD or a bond or something, right? You invest that money into something else, which if your average return is, say, 2 or 3 or 4%, how much money do you need to put in there to get another $20,000 a year out of your, you know, that account? Or what else can you do? Maybe it's adding some other things. You have to be able to not just set a goal, but set a goal with specific ideas and ways to get there, at least ways, right? Maybe not all those ways work, but you at least should try. Anyway, those are just a couple. The video is a little bit longer anyway. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas or helped you out. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.